And hello, I think I am live. Hello, it's Friday. The mandatory trying to set up the table surface. So give me just a second. Everything is a little bit wonky here. I think here, yeah, then we're square. I find that if I take this craft mat, then at least I can give myself a square on my table that I know that as long as I'm inside this square, everything will be streamed. So lucky me. It's Friday and it's 6 o'clock. I have received some happy mail, so I would like to start to share my happy mail sent to me from Devon. She's got a YouTube channel, Devon Rex for Art. Oh, I should write it down so it's easier for you guys to find her. Let's get a Sharpie. Devon Rex for Art. That's her YouTube channel. And hi Anne, thank you for coming to my house. She, Devon does a lot of really spectacular gel printing. So I have been anticipating to show you guys her beautiful artwork. This is one of her homemade cards, and it is just this Happy Mail is filled up with uh, her prints and also um, napkins. It's called, and this is a stencil mask. Ooh, can I take it off? From one of PM Artist Studios stencils. Look how intricate and nice it is. I'm definitely going to find a cute project to put this butterfly on. And then she made this pocket, and inside this pocket there is these. Yeah, I looked through everything. First of all, the pocket is glued to this sticker paper, so I can just take it off and then glue it directly into a junk journal. Isn't that just clever thought of her? Yeah, but Dr. Seuss cards is in this pocket, and these, I think it's from Alfonso Mucha. It's so beautiful. It's definitely Art Nouveau. These tags are just wonderful. It just really makes me want to go and buy that whole ephemera set because the colors is so vibrant. There's something off with my camera light. It doesn't really show colors that well, but the color saturation on these tags are just stunning. Hi Janet. Hi Gail. I'm showing Happy Mail from Devon, and she sent these Dr. Seuss card. And yeah, Dr. Seuss speaks to my inner kid, so I definitely think that all the images are just so super fun and cute. This is amazing. Devon does this gel print session that she shows on YouTube where she cuts out an elephant and then she worked with her die cut by layering up on her gel plate, and it's just amazing, the layering technique behind it. So I'm so happy that I actually got a genuine real Devon. Even though this is just a print off, but I'm gonna treasure this because I just really love not only the elephant but her technique behind it. And this is a moose greeting from Canada. Hello, Judy. Welcome to my home. And then Devon, she sent a lot of napkins. Look at this, just made me laugh. Can you be more happy? Oh man, this is just so joyful. And she sent this time some odd shaped napkins. Look at these, they're circle shaped. Definitely going to be used in a napkin journal, like a corner. Or maybe like on 2 pages where we just sandwich it between 2 pages because it would look so beautiful with that yellow edge. But yeah, always fun to receive napkins. I find that we got different styles of napkins up here in Scandinavia. Um, I see that our style is like Scandinavian compared to a lot of the napkins that I have been seeing on YouTube from the US. So always interesting. Oh, this is so beautiful. This is like ready to go. Wouldn't you say? Like you wouldn't even need much to do a card from this. Just this square right here and then paste it on. It is so beautiful. And the cool thing about napkins is that four side, like you have like here four um similar sides. So you can use this napkin, you could say like four times. I'm kind of frugal, when I get gifted napkins from other people, then they become like rare items in my napkin collection. So it's just nice to know that you can goof around with three of the items and still have one in spare. But yeah, lovely, lovely colors. Really, really nice. Thank you so much, Devin. And now for the interesting part, the gel prints. Hi, Barbara Chicken Pot Pie. This is, I think, is it called like you know, when you lift off the first print? um, I don't know what it probably has some fancy name. The first pull off when you lift off paint. But I think I can work with this. Actually, maybe I can work with it because today's theme is the infamous five loaves and the two fish from the Bible. So I'm gonna draw a drawing about that theme in my Bible. And here we already got the fish bones. So I'm gonna put this aside and see if I can incorporate it into my today's spread. And I think this is also a cleanup print from stencil work. And this is so beautiful. Devon's and Tangles, and she made this tortoise, and everything is just so detailed. this is this takes patience and a lot of time. She used colors, and it's very like soft pastel pink and lavender and like sage green and that light blue, and it just goes so well with the white and the black. So I really love the color choice. It makes it really homogenic to look at. So really, really nice. This to me looks like roses. I don't know how she did it, but doesn't it look like she took baby wipes, curled them up, and then just squeezed them to the gel plate, and then made a print of, you could say, roses, and then pulled it up with a red color. Like first you put down black, take away the color with a wet baby wipe, curled up, and then lift it off with a red color. I mean, this is so genius. I'm gonna try this technique. It does look like roses, doesn't it? Yeah. And there is a yellow one. Yeah, I looked through it. I couldn't wait. There's also this yellow one. It is just, yeah, I like it a lot. She uses a lot of things she just trip over when she's out grocery shopping or if she's in Hobby Lobby. Things that you use for, I don't know, kitchen things. She used that on her gel plate. So all sorts of random things. So it's really fun. And this one is so funny. She wrote a note and say, I thought you might like to make a story about how those glasses right there ended up on this print. But isn't it hilarious? I think she did a magazine pull and then the glasses was left over from the magazine. And then she worked on top of this with the flowers. So I think that's hilarious. And then the last two items are this um, sky. And I think I can cut them down and maybe glue them in my Bible because yeah, it just would be nice to have a front and a back because it's like chipboard. So I really like them a lot. So thank you very much, Devin, if you're watching this. Um, I'm really, really happy to receive the happy mail from you. So, that was so sweet of you. Okay, let me see. Did I miss? There's a lot of chat that I missed. Okay, you're talking about temperature and yeah, we had. Uh, I finally had some day off, and then we had like rain for almost a whole week. Okay, the garden loved it for sure, but we finally had days off, and then we were going to a campsite and everything, and then it was just raining. But it was okay. Um, yeah. Let me just get started. I'm super, super tired today. So when I'm done streaming, I'm gonna come in and take a nap. I am just exhausted. It's been like a really difficult day at work with a lot of issues. So I feel like I'm spent in my head. So sorry if I feel if I seem a little bit distant today. It's just because I'm super tired. So, but okay, I'm working in my Bible, and I decorated this with a door that was gifted to me from Sandra, Scraps to Beauty. I think I should just flip through it because I'm not sure if I have done a flip through of what's. It's an old Bible, so there is a lot of really young and confused Lena writing a lot of notes in it. But this is the page that belongs to Let There Be Light. I got a funky glare. Hopefully, I can work my way through it. And this is Noah's Ark. I found that the first two Book of Moses, is it called? Do you also call them Book of Moses? But that contains stories, right? And then the third Book of Moses is more like guidance, directions to like really minute, like which thread to use when you are sewing your priestly clothing, and how to celebrate and give thanks, and a lot of guidance, but not so much story. So the first two Book of Moses and also the fourth of it is what I feel is filled up with a lot of stories that I can draw images to. Rakel, yep. In real life, Lena is my middle name. My mom's name is Rakel, and my name is Rakel. Uh, yeah, there's a story behind that. I can tell that another day. But there is a reason why I drew this, because yeah, that's my name. What else do we have? I should put in tabs so I can recognize it. Oh yeah, here I drew. It's the section where Joseph uh, is engaging with the Pharaoh of Egypt. So I wanted to draw the Pharaoh as I think he looked, because basically he is a man with a mask on. So that's why I'm chose to draw him super simple, to kind of, that's how I think he looked. I know that they are decorating these masks here with lots of colors and gold and everything, but basically he was just a human with a wooden mask on his head. Oh, thank you, Judy. Okay, and then Moses, he walks and stumble over a burning bush, and I really love the way that I kept the green leaves so it doesn't look like a dried up dead bush on fire, because of caught on fire by the heat or something. It's still a live bush. And then I included the pink colors because I wanted it to be something celestial, like, I don't know, like, in my head I'm thinking that these colors symbolize something like spiritual. So I did initially start doing the red and orange and yellow, and then I shift gear and put in the pink, and I really love it. My camera doesn't really pick it up, but it looks so cool with that really fluorescent pink shining through the bright yellow. But unfortunately, my camera doesn't pick up those fluorescent colors, but it's painted with fluorescent colors. So, and then we come to the 10 plagues. I think I showed you guys it started with red water, frogs, mosquitoes, flies, hail, lots of rain, death. So I tried to depict some of it, and it happened in Egypt. So I wanted to put in a crocodile of the Nile. And then Moses parted the sea, and it was kind of fun to make this. I was thinking that if I should make like a whale, like a large sea creature, like sea turtles or something, swimming inside these walls of water, but I didn't get that far. So oh yeah, I've done a lot of off camera. It's just, I usually draw one drawing per day. So instead of drawing in my sketchbook, I have picked up this Bible because I have an idea. I know where I am in the story, so I'm looking forward to, like, when he parted the sea. I knew that he went up to the mountain and got the Ten Commandments. So already while I was working on him parting the sea, I knew that, oh, it's gonna be fun to make him when he gets the Ten Commandments, because I want him to have this special look in his eyes, like he's carrying an important secret. That kind of secret that you can't just reveal fast. You have to gather people first before you tell it. So I've been working with his eye expression a lot, and I wanted to give him like this serious look because it was serious. But then I think I managed to give him too small a hand. So can see how it just looks weird. But yeah, I really am thinking about what I'm doing. It's fun. Here it's about, I don't know if it's also called the gold cow, the gold calf, the golden calf. They build a cow of gold and they start worshiping it, and then God, he punished them because you're only allowed to have one God. And I thought it was so perfect to put in the bull of Wall Street right here, because not only is it like in gold, but it's also, people worship money. So it's just so perfect that the sculptor Arthur de Modica, he chose to put a bullish bull as a sculpture in front of Wall Street. I don't know. To me, it's like a pun. So I knew for a long time that when we came to this part here in the book of Moses, it should be the bull of Wall Street. A bullish bull. Yeah, that's kind of fun. I think that was it when it comes to Moses. Are there more? I know that I did David and Goliath over here, and it looks a little bit like a computer game, I know, but I just really want to emphasize that he was a giant and he's just this tiny man with a slingshot, and he's standing there with all his mighty, his height, his weapons, and the only thing standing with David is the Lord, but still he conquer him. So I'm really content with the composition, and even though it looks a little bit like a computer game or something. Let me see. I actually think that's it in the Old Testament. Yeah, I think we are, and now we are catching up to the New Testament, and I think I showed you guys this one here. It was one of the first ones. And this one, I really like that gold edge frame, and that you can see the text through the images. I like that a lot. Oh yeah, this one I forgot. Also met this one. And here I decorated with some dried leaves. Here, oh, that was kind of good idea. I could use just pictures of bread and fishes for today's drawing. Yeah, I think that's it actually. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's a lot of similarity between the three books of Matthäus, Lucas, and is it called the Evangel? Oh, I don't know what's it called in English. Johannes, Lucas, Matthäus, and Marcus. There is a lot of similarities in their depiction of what happened. It's basically the same story told. Uh, the same story told by four people, right? So I decided to choose the section that I did not write a lot on because some of these I have underlined things and written comments and stuff. So I didn't want to just go over that. So I think when I'm working with the story about the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes, I will draw it in Lucas. I don't even know what the word is. Is it a gospel? Is it called that? I don't know. Lucas story. So it's gonna be on this page. And I want to include this jelly print that I received from Devon because it's got like these fish bones here. So this is the first time that I have to glue something inside this Bible. So I'm a little bit bandy on ice, don't really know how well these pages is going to receive the glue. I think instead of matte medium, I'm gonna use Yoo-hoo glue stick because I think it's got a more like a sticky contact to this Tomeru River paper surface. Yeah, gospel, that's called, yeah. I don't read the Bible, so I'm impressed that you're reading it so avidly. It's your weekly Bible class. Well, this section that we're working on today is very sad for me because there is a personal story behind it that I don't even know how to start describing it. Okay. 1986. Every Wednesday after school, we could bicycle up to church, and then there would be story time, you could call it. So the vicar, we had a female vicar. The vicar, she would entertain us with stories that she read from the Bible, and afterwards we were invited to this tiny house where she had home baked cake and lemonade that was always red, and then sweet tea with tea with lots of sugar and milk, and of course that cake part is just so irresistible. The way she baked her cakes, she took those iron plates from her oven, and that whole cast iron that you put inside your oven, she made the cake in 2 of those. So imagine that, 2 huge plates of cake, and one of them was always a chocolate cake with white icing from white sugar on top of it. And I looked forward to that cake every week. In fact, I would say that you can still buy my attention with cake. But anyway, if you stayed after people left and helped her clean up, she would take tinfoil, aluminum tinfoil, and stack 4 huge pieces of leftover cake and give it to you so you could take it home with you. So, oh my God, did I come for that cake? But during that time, I was also taught in a lot of things, and I always kept quiet. Yeah, it sounds a bit like that Sunday school, but ours took place on a Wednesday. I don't know why. Uh, I don't know if Sunday was occupied to something else, but yeah, I was always quiet, but the vicar really tried to start conversations. You know how it works, right? So the first time I opened my mouth was when she was reading up the passage with the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes. And what took place that day was very unpleasant for me, and I never returned after that. So that's why I think it's important for me to work with that special passage in my Bible, because it just brings back um, something, some memories, even though the memories are not good. Yeah, well, okay. I don't even know where to start. Okay, check this out. I grew up in Greenland where we had a different approach to religion. It's very nature based. Um, so we were not like Christian. I grew up with a mix of believing the native Greenlandic folklore and then suddenly standing in front of Christianity that has a lot of stories, and we don't have that much in Greenlandic nature folklore. Greenlandic belief is more about balance in nature. So there is a reason why nature needs to outbalance, for instance, species. That if you take a herd of 100 reindeers and 1/3 of them might never make it as an adult because it's just adjusting to a natural balance, that some animals are never making it to being born, and when they're born they get eaten. So the same with humans. A lot of us have losses before we even give birth, and a lot of us has babies that don't reach the age 5, and when we do survive the teens, lots of us, it's not forgiven that you turn like really old, and it was accepted because there is a certain balance in nature. So it's a natural loss, you could say. And I still believe a lot of those thoughts today. So if I am debating about the climate changes, my instant response is that we are too many people. So the only way to solve our climate problems is to bring back the balance between how many people, humans, there can be on this planet. Yeah. So I'm kind of twisted like that. But Greenlandic nature belief has nothing to do with magic. There's like no healing, and every magic is dark. So we don't believe in the white religious magic that other religions have when they're healing. It's always portrayed like a white magic, like it's a sacred magic and not like a dark magic. But I was brought up learning that every magic is dark and should be avoided. So I was in big conflict when I had to be taught about a lot of things in this book, because a lot of things in this book is about healing, doing magic, like pulling out water and making it to wine. That's a little bit hocus pocus, like a magician. So I had a really hard time being fed all these stories and had to keep my mouth shut. So the first time that I opened my mouth in, could you call it, my Bible class, was about this outrageous story about having 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes and feeding 5,000 mouths. And I remember that I was, um, I don't remember exactly word by word, but let me just give my adult version of what happened. The vicar was instigating a conversation about the story she just read. And for the first time, I spoke up and said that I found it really strange. I mean, it had to symbolize something, and I couldn't really figure out why the numbers were so important, because I am such an anal freak that I am focused on numbers also. I've always picked up numbers in my life. So I wanted to get some tools and help to how to translate this magical story into something you could learn from. And that's when I got into trouble, because first of all, I remember that there was this moment where the vicar flipped to the beginning of one of these gospels and wrote some sentences about everything written here is the truth, and that's how it happened, word for word. I don't even know if one of these actually starts like that. But I remember her putting up, like lining up the field, saying like, it is exactly what happened. So it's not a story with a hidden agenda. That's the true word for word, what happened. Yeah, it also started a little bit up here, like it was eyewitnesses, like this is based on eyewitnesses of everything that took place in that order that day. I remember she was like pushing it up against my face, like don't doubt this. It really took place, because that's how the whole gospel started. And then I was trying to tell her that I just thought it was confusing to believe that um you could spun out so much food for 5,000 people. I mean, 5,000, that's like humongous crowd, and still after they all ate, there were 12 baskets left of leftover food, and it just didn't sit well with me. So I wanted to ask her if she was sure that it was food and not spiritual food, because it could symbolize that they were fed spiritual information. So we started this discussion, and my point of view was, I think the 5 loaf of bread was disciples, and the 2 fishes was freshmen of disciples, like prospects. So I pictured that Jesus was standing in front of 5,000 people, and nobody could hear what he was saying. How do you speak to such a big crowd? So he blessed 7 people of his disciples to spread out in groups and tell stories about the value beliefs of this Christianity. And 5 of them were like educated, graduated disciples, and 2 of them were still freshmen. So that's why they are mentioned as fish, like small fish. And I got in such big trouble for making that statement. So I just remember people looking at me like they had some inside knowledge. Like I was so weird, I was so off, and like they knew and couldn't understand why I would confront the text. And then um, I remember that it was told to me that I could not question the action of Jesus, because if I did, I didn't believe in him, and then I would renounce the whole religion. So it just grew into this peak that suddenly I was sitting there getting accused of not being real Christian, like real. And that's why I never returned. Yeah, and then I remember the vicar uh, making the argument that me thinking that the 5 bread and the 2 fishes were disciples was wrong, because Jesus had 12 disciples with him. And then I said, but who said that all 12 were there that day? People sometimes get sick or, are not present. And it was just shut down like a foolish remark, like, of course all 12 were there. He never went anywhere without his 12 disciples. So I got like really like pushed down. Anyway, shortly after that, she moves on and she talks about Jesus walking on water. And I had a moment where I was collecting myself, thinking that I think people are just misunderstanding me, because I think that these stories in this book are symbolism of a very cryptic way of telling a point, but gluing it into a story so that people remember it more. So that's why I was so focused on the numbers, because the numbers had to be important. And then she comes to the passage where she tells that after that day where he spoke to the 5,000 people, he went up to a mountain and prayed, and then came back from that mountain and actually walked on the water out to the boat where the disciples were sitting, right? Note that two of the disciples were not in the boat, and I think that was the prospects, the freshmen, they were not inside the boat. Anyway, and I immediately knew what she was talking about there, because in Greenland we have the same expression, and I think it's a world-known expression. It's called walking on thin ice. In Greenland, it's a little bit more like said in past tense, like he walked, not walked on thin ice, but he fell through thin ice. And it means, it's a saying you say about a person who has let down people in his community. So his foundation was thin, so he fell through the ice. And the ice symbolized the foundation pillar of people that you connect with in your life. So it's important for you to have healthy, strong, and loving connections to people around you, so you have thick ice to walk on. And Greenlandic people have a lot of symbolism about walking on ice in general. For instance, if you have a different opinion and is become an outcast, there is a saying also saying that you're drifting, which means figuratively that you are drifting away on ice, disappearing into the ocean. I know this is very weird, but what happened that Wednesday in my head in that church was that when, as soon as she started talking about Jesus walking on water, I was thinking, now it makes sense. Now I got my vocal proof that these stories are not based on something that really took place, but it's a way of using images to tell a point, because they don't have ice near Egypt because it's a warm area. So of course the absence of ice make him walk on just water, right? So I remember getting back into the discussion and trying to explain that way of thinking, because I suddenly thought that that was my proof, because they. I also remember something about Peter going out to Jesus in the water, and he start disbelieving in Jesus and starts sinking in the water, and that is just so clear to me. The figurative way of explaining that the foundation that Peter walked on was weak, so he starts plummeting into the water. Anyway, once again, she pushed me back and said that I cannot doubt these things, and you don't want to hear me doubt any written word, because then it doesn't belong in Christianity, it belongs in somewhere else. And I couldn't just sit and make up my own religion. She made it sound like I was making it up in my own head. And she returned to the point about the 12 disciples, right? And I did not go after that class to get any cake or anything. I just went straight home. I was really sad. And I remember reading the rest of it was actually Johannes Evangelium, Johannes Gospels. And it really came a shock to me because Johannes ends with 12 disciples being seven, five of them with name, five of them without name. So Johannes' gospel is proof that Jesus at one point only had, when he was at the Tiberias lake, where he walked on the water, he only had seven disciples with him. Five of them he chose to name. It's Simon, Thomas, Nathaniel, Jacob, Johannes, and the two others are nameless, just called two others. And those are the ones I think was like the freshmen. But the five disciples that was named with names were the graduated disciples, the bread. And I remember being so annoyed about finding this when I came home and not having that as an argument. Yeah, here it is, that infamous day. 147, det er den der. Markus 22. Okay, I see Markus 22. Just a second. There is another. I can just see that I wrote Markus page 22. So now I'm just curious. Oh, yeah. Matthew's gospel, after Jesus talked to the 5,000 people and gave them bread and fish, they collect in baskets the leftover. And then later on, he is giving a pun to his disciple because they left the basket at the mountain. They didn't take the basket with them. And I think the basket, the leftover, the 12 baskets that was the leftover food represent 12 people that they turned from heathens to Christianity. You know what? Like, and then he's giving his disciple a lecture about why did you just leave them there and why didn't you bring them, because he's on a move, he's a movement, he needs people to walk with him. And I think just the fact that he was able to gather 5,000 people who just came to hear him talk gave him such a strong fundamental um, like belief in himself. So that's also why he walked on the water afterwards. Anyway, can you feel how all of this is just painful for me in this chapter, because it represents me questioning something and kind of getting kicked out of a group because I had a different opinion and was literally told that if I didn't believe it like she read it, I was not worshiping Christianity. So I have to do this journal spread. I have to do it. I remember bits and pieces of that day, but not, of course, the whole conversation. And I was younger, so I may not have phrased it the way I'm phrasing it now. Let's see. Lina, you should read the Rational Bible by Dennis Prager. You'll stop questioning your interpretations. Oh, there is such a thing? Um, yeah, but this was the first time for me that I ever had a religious conversation with, with someone, and kind of lost the conversation. And then, of course, I think you guys have figured out by now that I'm totally shy of conflict. I never returned. so, so that was the end of Wednesday Bible study. But it was interesting, the the kids that were in that could you call it a congregation or something? Some of them were dropped off by their parents, and some of us was kids from school. So we were just kids. So it was, a much friendly approach because we could talk in class and everything. It wasn't like we had to sit down and then just be quiet. So, okay, now I'm drawing the two fishes. I think I just want to depict the two fishes and then 5 loaves of bread. I just think that I am too analytic a person. You know, I ponder too much about things, so that's what brought me into trouble that day. Okay, how to do the fish scales? I should make a fin up here. Maybe I should block this in with some sort of watercolor ground so that I can layer on top of it with a light color just to block out that red. Many years ago, I started to train as a lay preacher. I found so many things as a scientist I couldn't accept as written in the Bible. So at the time, I stopped. Yeah, I can really follow you. Don. And yet, I feel that if we close our eyes and we zone in on what does it mean to you to believe in something that's built not from the stories, but more of a feeling of love and harmony and knowing that someone else is gonna judge, so you can really leave it out of your plate onto another plate much bigger than yours. Then I can see how I want to belong to a belief system, because it is a social thing, but for sure the worst arguments I ever have had has been with people taking the Bible totally literally. And I don't know why I keep ending up in these discussions with, yeah. I remember I had a fierce one with my brother. It is so stupid not seeing family members because you had an argument about something in the Bible. Yeah. Okay, now we got the fish. I think the loaf of bread can have that red undertone and it won't disturb the color of the bread. But the fishes, I want them to be like silver, so no red there. Um, you believe with all your heart now. I find myself to be a strange believer because I still haven't let go of a lot of things that I was taught on Greenland, and especially about spirit. And I know that the Bible does not believe in reincarnation, but I certainly do. So can you see how the vicar was correct? I am knitting my own religion. I'm putting in things not belonging because they're not mentioned in this book. But I definitely think that there is some sort of recycling of our spirits, or at least the energy or imprint of our spirit. And I know that the word spirit comes from this book, but they're not supposed to be recycled. Okay, okay, five loaf of breads. And I'm gonna be so anal that I'm gonna name these loaves the disciple names because that was my argument. So let me just paint the loaf of bread first. Yeah, I'm using gouache. It's got the good coverage on this gel print. I'm sorry for being so tuned in on this religious, but I just hit a place in this Bible that really connected to not so pleasant a memory inside of me. So, but I will say that this book is filled with a lot of stories that it's so easy to create an image inside your head, and a lot of you guys know these stories or are familiar with some of them. Like Moses parting the water and everything. So it just feel like a stream friendly topic because I'm really in doubt of what my channel is going to be here on YouTube. So in lack of not having any other ideas, I think that this Bible journaling is super easy for me. I already know the next thing that I'm gonna paint. One of my favorite interpreter of images from the Bible and then put on the canvas is Piero della Francesca, but also Rembrandt. And Rembrandt for one particular reason, because a lot of the other famous painters that we know, like Paul Rubens, Michelangelo, Raphael, El Greco, even Salvador Dali, Caravaggio, and Leonardo da Vinci, they have painted light coming from, if we take like the birth of Jesus, coming from the star. But Rembrandt was one of the first who depicted light coming from inside baby Jesus. So the faces looking down at the newborn baby was lit up by the baby and not from a star from above. And that image I cannot get out of my head. So I already know that my next drawing in this book is that I'm going to find the passage where Jesus is being born as a baby, and then try and make a drawing using the light technique from Rembrandt, where it is baby Jesus who is illuminating everyone around him and not from a light source coming from the sky or from candlelight in the stable. So I already know the next drawing. And that's what is so fun, like there is challenge because you know the story, and it gives you an opportunity to think and ponder about how will you solve that next drawing. So some of my drawings are going to be like childish, like the Noah's Ark, but other ones I think I would think about, uh, put a little bit more effort in. I also somehow am in doubt because imagine nobody has really seen baby Jesus. So imagine being one of the first painters who was commissioned to draw his version of a baby Jesus. I mean, how do you depict a God that's going to stand out from regular babies? Like in my imagination, it was some kind of a difficult task. I mean, should you give him a look like he's already full of knowledge or what? Because the Bible kind of skipped all the teenage years of Jesus, so you don't really know when exactly did Jesus start talking about um, being divine, you know? Like, did he had like a normal upbringing, like normal kids, and then suddenly got enlightened, or what? So that's also interesting to see how to solve that in a painting, right? I think it is. I'm painting these bread like flat, like almost like a pita, because I think that's how they made their bread. Hi, Laurie. Welcome to my stream. Yeah, suddenly it became like really biblical. Yeah, I just felt that there was a lot of explanation to this, why I need to do this spread, and why I think it's a little bit troublesome for me to work on this particular spread. You could, in a way, say that this chapter about the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes is a timeline where I got lost, like where I stepped out and didn't return. Okay, I got that based silver look down. Let me see if I can make the head a little bit darker than the rest of the body here. Okay, I should let that dry. I think it needs a lot of pencil work before it becomes to anything looking like a fish. Hi, Shauna. I'm just gonna use my heat gun. I see Devin is in the house. Hi, Devin. Thank you so much for the happy mail. Do you recognize this? I'm working on one of the jelly prints that you gifted me. Oh, so good that you came so I could thank you in person. I'm really, really glad for the things you sent. Okay, somehow I need to make this look like fish. I think they're pretty far from being a fish right now. Maybe I should try and sketch it up with a pencil. It always helps. I think I should take like a dark gray. You recognize it? Yes. I thought it was so perfect that it came to this page spread. Okay, I really have to think about these eyes. Uh, Maybe I should just make them round to begin with. I'm sitting here with like no reference photo to this imaginary fish. So I feel a little bit like I'm freestyling. Ooh. Okay, what to do about the eyes? I think they actually do have like a chin. If I do like this, that looks good. And then if I do the scale, should they go like that way or this way? I think I'm gonna have the scale to go maybe on half the fish, like this. I'm just drawing it very soft, so it just becomes a hint of the fish scale. Maybe we could try and give them a white tummy and see if that kind of help. I think it's nice to bring in the white so I have a separation between the two fishes here. So if I just try to be consistent, like what I'm doing on one fish, I have to do it on the other, then they may look like they are from the same batch. Okay, what about a mouth? Oh man, can I do just like this? Oh, that looks weird. Okay, I'm just gonna do like that. That's the mouth. And now, to be really anal, I want to write the names of the disciples that I think was preaching that day. This is a good one. We got Simon, also known as Peter, and Thomas. And then we had Nathaniel. And we had Jacob and Johannes. That will totally make sense in my head of what's going on in this drawing. I should take a lighter pen like this, maybe. Yeah, I like it a lot. Did you get a bird? No, I got the door open out to the garden. So if you hear some birds, they are from my garden. Are they that loud? Can you guys really hear that? Okay, I think this page is somehow done because I know exactly what it means and what it refers to. Yeah, maybe I could outline this more. And there actually is that number part of it that I think I should include, you know, the 5, 7, 12, because that is so strange. 5, 7, 12. Let me see if I got some stickers because my numbers are like awful. So hang on. I think I used all the number 2 because no, there is a 2. No, that's an S. Ow. Yeah, I used all the letter or the number 2. That came out really weird when I said that I used my number 2, but I think I used the digit 2 because when I'm writing a year, so just gonna write in 12 because that drives me nuts. When you are stumbling over numbers, you can't stop noticing numbers. I don't know if anyone suffers from that illness too. I swear I must have been a detective in my previous life because I remember certain strange details when we have been to places and never let it go like it was important information. And then it's just crap. But the 5, 7, 12 was a ponder for this one. Yay! Oh, thank you, Barbara. So I think that's a closed case with that one, and I'm so happy that I managed to, even though it was a little bit messy, to come across with my story, so that you guys also know why there are so much underlining in this Bible, and it looks so old because it comes from that time period. All these underlinings here that look how I'm writing down numbers. um, it comes from that period, that time slot period when I was like studying it every Wednesday. And I think the ones that I circled up was what she read, the vicar. And then when it's not circled, that's when I read when I came home, because sometimes it felt to me like she stopped in the middle of a story because she had to explain. So that's why I was reading when I came home. Yeah, I think that's it. But it's fun for me to look at my own writing in this Bible because a lot of the things I don't even recognize. Like there was a lot of writing on the margin that I can't even remember why I wrote. yeah, so this is strange. Okay, I want to show you. Do you guys remember that I watched Dee Dee build a miniature lounge, like a miniature room, and then I went out and got myself a miniature coffee and cake house? Well, I finished it. So let me try and clear my desk and then show you guys my finished miniature Parisian cake house. I even found a little teddy bear that can live in this mansion. Ooh, now he tripped. Okay, let me get him up. This is so cute. I didn't even think that this would speak to me, but I had so much fun making this house. And then you can turn on the light, and then also it plays a little bit music. I'm not gonna wind it up totally, but you can hear some of the music. And then I finished the chandelier, which is totally wonky, but it was a little bit difficult to do it. And everything is so cute. Look at the tiny slippers. Oh, come on, fat fingers. Ooh, I can't even pick it up. Look at the tiny slippers. I mean, it is just so cute. Really, oh, stinking cute. Look, I can't even navigate in it without tripping on things. And I did add extra items on this because I had so much leftover materials. So one of the things that I added that's not in the manual is this rosary up here on the door. But I'm thinking I should screw off my camera so I can show you it in a better view. So I'm just gonna block my camera in black so that you won't get seasick, and then untie my camera from this camera arm. Whoops. And let's see. Ooh, the light is like really bad. How can I? Maybe if I scoot it over here. I think the light is better. Like this is the front of it, and it had this like Christmas theme, but I didn't like it to be Christmas because with the seating up here in the balcony, it looks so summery with all the roses and stuff. And also the sign here had got roses on it. So I'm still working on the window display because I don't want to use the Christmas tree that it came with. And then, like I said, I found this little teddy that just fits perfectly here in the couch. He can sit there with a pillow underneath his arm. So finally, he's got a place to live. And then I really, really love all the details. Let me just show the table that the bear is sitting at. If we go over here, you can peek inside the window, and then you can see, the table display. It's just so stinking cute. Yes, it's a kit that I bought for, I think they sell it in the US for about $60 or something. Ooh. Okay, my camera is like, I go to the left and then it goes to the right. I'm like upside down. Okay, this is the side when you're looking from the side. into the coffee saloon. And this up here, I think is so cute. It's got like this. I, I added these green leaves here, and then I also added pillows to the chairs because I had like extra fabric. And then what else? I added the some. I had extras of these flower things, so I could put those in also. I'm doing a horrible job showing with the camera. I'm sorry, it's so shaky. But everything is so tiny, like so detailed. This is their table where they're sitting, drinking coffee and eating cake. And this is when you're looking inside the bedroom. So, but it is so stinking cute. I didn't even think that I would enjoy building it so much because I think in a way that I got like clumsy fingers, but for some oddball reason, it was just really a fun project. And I really adore all the finishing and all the detail, like um, like everything. Seriously, when you look inside, like everything is so detailed. Like from the coffee grinder to the paper cups, Starbucks look-alike cups, to the cake and the, you know, making scissors and the cashier and everything. But oh my god, this was such a treat to make. I'm not gonna buy another set because oh my god, I actually have some dollhouse furnitures because yeah, I don't even know where I got them from. I think I bought some of them, but my son actually had a dollhouse when he was very little. He had a play, what's it called? There was another mom, and she had a daughter called Sophia, and me and the mom were hanging out together. So our kids were playing together, and Sophia, being like a really princess, she was into dolls. So she kind of introduced the dollhouse to my son, so he wanted his own dollhouse, like ones that Sophia had. So I remember that we went out and bought several of the dollhouse furniture, and we got them somewhere in the garage or something. I can't imagine me throwing them out, but I want to dig for them and then see if I can build rooms, not necessarily a house, but like separate rooms, like this bedroom up here. I just think, okay, now the chandelier is all wonky because I lifted it up. But like building one room at the time, and then maybe you can stack the rooms together. So yeah, yeah, I don't know. I'm just pondering about that at the moment. So, but okay, I'm gonna put the camera back up. So I'm gonna close it down. It becomes dark, so you don't get dizzy. But that was my dollhouse or bakery shop. Really a crazy hobby when you think about it. Like everything you receive is not finished. You have to sit and do all the flowers. All the tiny flowers that you see here are made out of paper that's rolled up. So there were a lot of things where I was thinking that, oh my god, do we have to build that on ourselves? Couldn't they just have given us something? But my next task is, because I need something in the window display, I need some sort of a wedding cake. So I'm thinking about taking my Fimo clay and then trying and build a miniature wedding cake out of the Fimo clay. Yeah, that's gonna be a treat. So, but not yet. You see, my brother made an Edwardian house as a dollhouse. Oh my god, it must look beautiful. He went on a course and did it from scratch. Oh, and Edwardian house. Oh my God, that would have been so beautiful. They like the tapestry and everything, So just the walls alone must have looked like really precious. How long did it take me? Oh, wow. I don't know. When did Dee Dee stream it? Was it 3 or 4 weeks ago? I bought it right after she streamed. First, I wanted to find, like I talked about, the furnitures from my son's dollhouse, but I couldn't locate it. And then I just had a fit about like, I mean, I know nothing worse than digging in the garage for things and not coming back empty-handed. So I was throwing a fit, like I can't find anything in that stupid garage. And then I just caved in and bought the kit. And then it turned out it was so inexpensive because, first of all, it was Prime, so it was like free shipping. And then I had a special discount because I bought it using my company card. So now I'm having a fun invoice that I have to book in my booking. I don't even know what to call it, man. But I think if I should guess, I think I paid around $40 for that whole kit, which I find was so extremely cheap compared to the amount of time that I enjoy building it. And I was a little bit sad when it was kind of finished because, oh, then what, because, you know, then what? Then it's just gonna stand and collect dust. So, oh, thank you. Yeah, he made the tapestries for it. Oh my God. Do I have a link for the supplier? You know what? I couldn't make myself kick out the box that it came with. Isn't it stupid? Normally, I'm such a tidy person that I have no issues kicking out wrapping or anything, but I still have the box. Let me go get it. So I'm just gonna move this over so it looks like you have something to look at. I'll be back just a second. Oh dang, it looks all Chinese. It looks super Chinese. It came in this box looking like a suitcase, And I'm so mesmerized that that huge kit could be squeezed into this little container. It looks like a small suitcase. The supplier, could this be the brand Cute Room? I actually think this must be the company logo, like Cute Room, because they trademarked that logo right there. There is a lot of YouTube videos where they take these Chinese sets and then with no sound, just music, they assemble it and like speed upload. So you can see them assemble several kits, and it all looks like it come from the same company. Like one company specializing in this world here. But everything is so well done, from that comes with electricity and a little playing music, and you know every corner has an item on it, so it's not like there is a humongous square where there's nothing going on. Like something is going on in each shelf, each corner, so it's very well used. But can you see that Christmas tree right there? If I slant the box, there is a Christmas tree in the window display. And I don't want to put a Christmas tree there because it's like totally summer going on up here. So that's where I'm gonna put my 2 or 3 tier wedding cake, something that comes up in a height. So yeah. Let's see. Thank you for letting me visit. Oh, thank you for coming, Shauna. It's so cute. So spending time here. So you have to get ready for work. Oh, have a nice work day and weekend. So let's see. You take care. Well, I'm going to be away from the keyboard for a while. Okay, Gail. Have a nice weekend. But I'm definitely going to locate my dollhouse furnitures because I seem to remember. Uh, I think I got like 4 or 5 rooms that I could build out of that. And I saw this genius on YouTube. He collected uh, chipboard from food items, like Fruit Loop boxes and Pop Tart boxes and all sorts of packaging from the kitchen. And then he sliced it up and then he glued them together. And then with pattern paper, he made the rooms. And I got a ton of pattern paper. And just imagine you can scan in some of your pattern paper and then zoom it down so you get like the tiny print. So it is possible actually to dress out a wall with brick walls and cute printed tapestry inside wallpaper, and yeah, and I got fabric also that I'm I've been quilting a lot, so I got fabric with tiny prints on it. So I am actually thinking about instead of going out and buying a new set that just becomes like a generic dust collector looking like what thousands of others have built, that I should try and utilize those darn dollhouse furnitures if I can dig them out from the garage. Yeah, scan, not scam. I'm sorry. You could scam. So yeah, I could scan in my own artwork. That could be so funny. It really could. Oh my god, you could the first room I could make could actually be my craft room. Yeah, okay, but thinking about it and doing it is two different things because I also would love to have lights and lamps and all that jazz. So I will need to go out and buy the small electric cords with the lamps and stuff. Plus that battery thing that they all are connected to. All the wire works is connected to a battery. So yeah. Talking about the new hobby or no? Put Robert Duval up on the wall. Oh, we could make like a Robert Duval basement, with small whiskey jars and all sorts of things. It could be so awesome. But I think this is just a fad. Is it called that? Something that you're infatuated with for a short period of time and then you leave it, let it be. Because I I don't see myself collecting these things. I would love if I had like a little girl in my family that I could gift it to assembled, because then it would be a win-win, like I would have the fun time assembling it since that's what I enjoy. And then it could bring extra joy to be gifted to someone in the family. But yeah. And a pool table, yes. Oh my god. So yeah, but I really think that it was about 3, maybe 4 weeks, and then it was assembled. And I did kind of was fast in the beginning. You see progress so fast because you're assembling the walls and everything. So it's just like when you build a house, in no time you got the construction up, but all the interior takes time. What's inside the house. So very, very quickly, the house was standing on the plate, and then I just had to fill in all the tiny things. But yeah, I think that's what I had to show today. And to sum up my concern from last week with driving my son's car, I have been practicing. I'm getting there. I'm still not feeling like totally familiar with his electric car, but we are getting very close to me. I have driven it, also alone and make parkings and all that kind of jazz, but I'm still kind of unsecure when I crawl into his space vehicle. So, oh, you're going to see if you can get one? Oh, Dot, I'm telling you, it's really nice just to sit. I had issues with the glue. I was using the glitter glue. I thought that it was like fast drying, but I think you can get a glue that's even faster drying because sometimes you need uh, tweezers to hold things together and wait for the glue to dry. And I can see on instruction videos from YouTube that there exists this very strong glue that dries super fast. So you are able to glue on tiny beads and then in no time make it stick. Imagine gluing this lamp on because I had a slow drying glue. I had to put the whole construction down and then sit with my finger and rest it until it stuck. And that was kind of tedious. So the glue issue is kind of important, to get that. Also, the hinges on the teapot, I literally sat with the round bead in one hand and the handle of the teacup, put them together and waited for the glue to dry because if I just let go, the handle would just slide off the smooth bead and then not be attached. So strong gorilla crazy glue is needed. You have some of that glue? Oh, perfect. You know what? Then it would make it so easy for you because I really had to be very creative with how to avoid having to sit with the item in my hands. So I used tweezers and all sorts of things. I actually used my craft mat a lot. When I had to assemble two pieces that needed to be glued together, like this. Then I stuck it up against my craft mat. I had that edge right here, and that helped me a ton because then you needed to put pressure on this side, and that could be done with a book that you just slide up to, and then it would sit by itself in pressure, without using your hands to pressurize it. So a lot of small tips and tricks. Yeah, but I'm telling you, it's it's very small. So if you got like really uh stiff fingers because you're having a little bit of arthritis or something, you can't continue that day. I had issues with that cantaloupe, is it called that? Canapé. It had to be folded. And my fingers that day were kind of stiff. But then I pushed myself to continue, and I shouldn't have because it just got glued together very crazy. See if I can slide it over so you can see it. I dislike the way that it ended up looking. I should just have gone to bed. Oops. I didn't manage to assemble it correctly, so I got the. Can you see these white lines that shows here? They're not supposed to be there, and it's like a fake sway fabric. So the glue was leaving marks. So you had to have totally clean hands when you made this. You couldn't have like residue from glue and then pressure it together in a shape without leaving that glue residue on this faux suede fabric. So yeah, that was the most annoying thing ever was to make this terp, or is it called um yeah, um thingy. So some of the things I really think that you needed three pairs of hands and not just two hands to make it. And I was wondering, how do they, I mean, how can they do it? But I guess it's possible. So yeah, but I think I'm gonna end now a little bit early, so, and then go and get some sleep. I am so tired today. I had a very exhausting day with a lot of strange computer problems and yada yada. You know, one of those days where things just is complicated. And I knew it was going to be an off day, because it started already with me in the shower hearing that my toilet was making this burping sound. I mean, so I had to clean my filter in the bathroom. But I was just standing in the shower hearing noises from my toilet, and then I just knew that, oh man, I'm starting the day like that. So that kind of set the tone for the rest of the day. So, but yeah, have a nice weekend, everyone, and I'll see you soon on next week. So enjoy the good weather while it's still there, and thanks for coming to my stream. Bye bye.